with my page. Hey, Brenda.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. We'll get it all shared up. All right. You ready to go?
I'm ready. We're live on Facebook.
We are live on Facebook. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us on the first Theta Healing Power Hour. And we are going to be doing the 2 shifts that need to happen in order for you to attract the right clients and or customers. So I am having my very first one here with Alysa Rushton, and she is a conscious creation author, inspirational speaker, manifesting expert, and creator of popular programs like Reality by Design, Get Lit from Within, and Manifest More Money and Miracles. And in full disclosure here, guys, Alysa is a coach that I'm working with. And because I know you have to be wondering, like, how'd you get such a big name, Brenda? Well, I know people. That's what I'm going to tell you. And so she is supporting me in my first one, so we could just get everything going with it. So, and she's amazing. She comes off very sweet and pixie and fairy-like, but the woman knows her stuff. Don't be fooled. She is amazing and constantly has me like amazed. That I can't even think of another word to say that other than amazing. So, hi, Alysa.
Hey, Brenda.
For joining me.
Oh my gosh, I'm super excited about today. I've been actually pumped about this all week because you and I actually do a lot of the same work. But you are a Theta master healer. You actually certify people in Theta Healing. And as you know, you and I came to work together. You're a client of mine, but you know, I don't brand myself as a Theta healer, but I do work with Theta Healing. So I was so excited about today because this is some of the work that I do with my clients as well. So I'm so stoked about what people are going to get from today because you and I were talking about what business owners are encountering right now through all of this. So I'd love to just share with the audience, you know, what kind of like let you set it up, but what's been going on in the world and what I think they're going to get from today.
Absolutely. And you know, this is the thing that I want people to understand. I want to bring other people in who are experts in a variety of fields. Because so yes, Alysa and I use some of the same techniques because you know why? They work. And it makes it easier for our clients to be successful in their lives and in their businesses. And which is, I have to say, like in 14 years as a Theta healer, I have never been able to find a coach. And I actually found a coach and a strategist who both knew Theta healing. And I just took that as a sign, like, okay, this is who I'm meant to work with because they're going to allow and help me and super bright, smart. So, you know, and what has really been that catalyst for this is because I just really felt like I want to know what people are doing in the world, how they're helping people, where their zone of genius and brilliance is, and what are the challenges that they're finding for their clients and or customers, right? So we're going to say clients because it's typically clients. And then we'll do a little work, right? Yeah. So take it away, Alysa. Tell us a bit about what's going on. What are you seeing? What are you seeing out in the world here?
Yeah. Okay. So first off, for all you guys that are watching right now, I can tell, pop a comment in the chat, say hi, tell us who you are. I'm watching you live on the Book of Faces right now. So make sure and pop us a comment. You know, Brenda, what I've been seeing from a business perspective, because maybe we'll turn that down just a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe just a little bit. What I'm seeing from a business perspective, because as you know, I'm a soul and business intuitive and a consultant. So I consult with businesses on every level. Most of them are in the upper 6-figure level. Some of them are in the 7-figure level and above, right? But in doing that, in the course of helping those businesses and consulting and working with how they're serving their customers, I'm actually seeing some very common themes. And one of the reasons for this today is that we know that the world is our mirror. And when things show up, it's our chance and opportunity to actually heal that mirror and heal those parts of our mirror that may not be in our highest alignment and in our highest service. So that is, when you and I get talking, as we often do, it's just a reason, because when we heal those deeper parts of ourselves, it doesn't have to show up anymore in our world in the way that it once did. It might still show up, but we don't have to encounter it as much. And can I give you a totally off the wall example of this?
Please
so
do.
I think people can understand. Okay.
Absolutely.
When you heal something at a core level, you might still encounter it, but not in the same way. So I grew up with a dad who smoked. And everywhere I've ever lived, there's been this smoking issue, right? I was a smoker for 20 plus years, but I quit, and we're the worst. We're like the worst smoke Nazis ever, right?
Oh, right. I'm so sensitive. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right? Exactly. So, but now everywhere I live, I always have somebody that's right next to me that's smoking somehow, right? That's my consciousness still running the smoking program. So one of the things I did recently, I just moved into a new condo here in Maui. It's beautiful. I got an ocean view. But with this whole global pandemic, people started, you're not allowed to smoke in your house or outside of your condo, but people started smoking more near where I'm located, right? Because I'm kind of front and central to the ocean. So all of a sudden I'm confronted with
I know.
this.
Are we playing our violin for her? Go on. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right. I get it.
But I get it, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's like, but it's affecting her world.
Right. And I'm super sensitive to it, by the way. So anyways, so do some healing around this. And you and I do Theta Healing just a little bit differently, but I did my brand of the Theta Healing. And all of a sudden, guess what? No one has been able to smoke in those spots anymore. It's completely vanished. It used to be the nightly smoking spot, and now nobody's there. So I tell you that story to tell you this, is that of course there's still smokers out in the world. Of course that's still happening. They're just not in my world, in my environment anymore. And I think that's kind of the point. So today is all about what's been showing up for you in your business that hasn't been necessarily in your highest service, that maybe you don't want to have it show up anymore in
Absolutely.
your world, right?
Because we say, what we resist persists, right? So, and it's not like, like with Alysa, it's not like she was like saying like, I don't want to deal with this or whatever. She's had other bigger things. And now all of a sudden she's had a little time, she's aware of it. And she's like, oh, I don't want to be attracting that to me anymore, because we're just magnets for what we don't want.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And because of the world being our mirror. So then she's able to change it. Now it's not like she did work and like nobody's ever going to smoke. Right. They're just not going to smoke around her.
Exactly. And I love what you said, Brenda. And guys, write this down. You are a magnet for what you don't want. And I wear this coin today to typify a point. I was given this coin by my mother-in-law who passed, but it's a beautiful piece, but it reminds me of abundance. But every time you pick up the coin of abundance, you have both the heads and the tails. You get the positive and the negative side of that. And so while I love abundance, right? And everybody does. When you're focused on abundance, when you're focused on doing something for your business that's at the next level, there's a piece that's running underneath that if you don't deal with it and attend to it, will also bring you in equal or sometimes greater
Right.
amounts of what it is that you actually don't want to attract. So I'd love to talk about what I've been seeing with business owners, specifically the ones that I serve now. But I want to say, even if you're not a 6 and 7 figure business owner, this probably still applies to you on some level.
Right.
Okay.
This is the thing though, guys, if you're not a 6 or 7, the deal is that you don't have to go into creating those types of figures with what Alyssa's clients have, right? Because that's the deal. It doesn't matter how much income you're generating. If you can get that foundation more solid,
Right.
it doesn't have to come back to bite you when a pandemic shows up or when you're upscaling or when, yeah.
Exactly. So hang on here. I want to do just one little thing, Brenda, before we do this. I want to make sure I shared this to my page And okay, great. All right. So the things that I'm seeing now with business owners in the six and seven figure business level is I'm going to go at it first from their customers level. Okay. So what is it that they're seeing from their customers that they're actually attracting? Now, okay.
Who are their mirrors?
Who are their mirrors at some level? Or, and can we say one little thing about the mirror really quick? I'm going to give my opinion and then I want to hear your opinion.
Okay.
People hear this mirror concept and they think, well, I don't do that. I'm not like that. So that can't be my stuff. And they hear the mirror concept and it's very off-putting to them. Well, how I like to think about the mirror is that it's maybe not your stuff, but it's a program that you're running. It might not be your program even. It might have come from your mom or your dad or your grandpa or your third aunt, for God's sakes. The thing of it is that we imprint genetically. Epigenetics has actually shown us scientifically that we imprint from 7 generations back on all levels. And that's just what we can prove with modern day science. I suspect in 10 years, you'll find out that it goes a lot farther than that. Right. So these things that you think, well, that's not my mirror, that's not my stuff. Well, it actually is a program that you're running. If it wasn't a program that you're running, you wouldn't be seeing it in the world. And we can see that so quickly with things like Theta Healing. When you clean up the program, all of a sudden it's, you have this with your clients all the time, Brenda. Like you'll do some Theta Healing. You even say it only takes 1 session, right? Because once you clear it, it's gone and you don't deal with it.
Right. It's permanent. Right. It's permanent. And I think that at times, Alysa, what people do is we talk about, the world is our mirror, and people are like, either they do one of two things. It's not my fault, or it's my fault. Right.
Yeah.
And it's neither.
Yeah.
It's that you just have it within you.
Yeah.
And it's a little like magnet and it's drawing it to you. And that's what Theta Healing does, is it removes, it neutralizes the magnet. It amplifies the magnets that you want, and it neutralizes the ones that you don't want. So, I feel like that at times we have to apply some of those Eastern, standards of like inquiry and saying, well, isn't this interesting? Why did that appear?
Yeah.
Right. And when we can do it like that, in that state of neutrality, then it really allows us to be able to just clear it without having to take ownership of it, or to be somebody's fault, or that you're a victim of it, or that you're a survivor of it, those types of things. Then you can just say, oh, after doing this for 14 years, that's what I get to do. Right. I don't have major reactions. Unless it's my mother, and I'm just being honest, right? But because girlfriend knows how to push my buttons, right? But anybody else, I'm out in the world and I'm in that non-reactive state. And ideally, that's what we want. We want to be in that objective, neutral, non-reaction, which I think, when we're younger, sounds kind of boring. And then when we get older, is heaven, right? It's like you realize that that's where the gold is. Yeah. That I can actually like move forward and be more objective and do what's from, my highest and best type thing. And so, that's the thing, is that I don't want anybody to think, well, it was my fault, I caused that, right?
Yeah, that's not helpful.
Nobody's fault. Right.
No,
right,
it's never helpful.
But with Theta Healing, we teach the tools to say, well, what do I need to shift so that I don't attract that again? So that I don't have to go through this again. Because, you reach a certain age where we know, different owl, same pew type thing, right? Like different players, but same story.
Yes.
And that's what's going on.
Yes, exactly. So guys, let's dive in, because I can see that there's a lot of you watching. So first of all, I wanted to say thank you, say hi. And as we're chatting about some of these things that we're seeing from business owners today, 6 and 7 figure business owners, be sure to remember that if that's not you, that's okay. And then 2, if there's something that's coming up for you, we're going to include that energy within the healing. And then also, I super recommend reaching out to Brenda afterwards, because she does I don't do private sessions, so she does. And so reach out to her, because she's an amazing master at this. She actually teaches this to other healers that want to include this in their practice. I personally actually think, oh, you want to say something?
I was going to say, or coaches or strategists
well,
or
yes.
psychotherapists. I mean, yes, 14 years, I've been like in every industry. And I also think every parent, the clearer the healer, the clearer the healing.
Yeah.
The clearer the parent, the better the parenting. The clearer the entrepreneur, the more they can upscale and be bigger in their business and attract what they want and need.
And I think that's the point, is that everyone can use this. It doesn't matter, where you are, what you're doing. This technique is a technique that I actually use to heal my body of just awful disease and couldn't walk, couldn't speak, really couldn't read. This is the technique that I use. This is the technique that I use. It's my go-to, right? Because it's fast, it's effective, it's lasting, and you don't have to jack around with a bunch of conscious mind stuff, right? Because it takes so long.
You don't have to do a whole lot. You don't have to. It's very easy.
Yeah.
So it's intended to just be very quick, easy. And I think that that's also too, for my thing, I've been looking at myself for 29 years. Started when I was 3. No, I was kidding. And, that's the deal, is that I kept doing things and trying things and attempting things and learning things. And when I came across Theta Healing, it was like the heavens parted, the angels sang, because I don't like to mess around. And I don't got time. I like it to be quick, easy. And I don't want to have to be thinking about it. Like, I love some of the other alternative and integrated healing modalities, but there's all these steps and it's so complicated. And with Theta Healing, it's just like, 1, 2, 3, we're done.
Yes. 1, 2, 3, we're done. Exactly. Okay. So let's get into some of the meat of today, some of the things that we're going to actually do some healing around. We're actually going to do some healing around these things, guys. So if that's you, just Brenda will walk you through it, but just ask to have your energy included in that healing portion. But so what I'm seeing with the business owners that I'm serving right now is a couple of things. Number one, and so what's interesting to me though always is when you have a different belief, it doesn't show up for you, right? So number one is that their customers don't have the money for whatever it is that they're purchasing right now, right? Now, obviously, I have some customers where that's not the case for, because they don't hold that same belief, right? So this isn't everybody. We're just dealing with the stuff that needs to be healed right now. Exactly. But they're having this reaction where many of the programs and services that they once would sell are not selling, because literally the people that they're serving are in lack and they don't have the funds, right? Now there's a layer above that though, okay? So that it's their layer. So that's the customer's layer coming up of lack. And I'd love to hear, before I go to their layer, what you think's going on there that they're attracting that.
It's usually something within themselves. It's something within themselves that needs to be healed. And maybe it's never appeared before, and this is how it's appearing for them.
Yeah.
I just actually was talking to a woman today who was saying, I've heard her like 3 different times have different deals where people have told her that she's charging too much. And she's not.
Right.
And she goes, but I know I'm not. And I'm like, but on some level, you do, or it wouldn't be coming to you. Right. It wouldn't be presenting itself.
Right.
So, either we hear it the first time and do something about it, or we do it. Sorry, Chula wants to join you, Alysa.
Hi, Chula. Hi,
baby. With extra healing.
Extra healing from Chula, always.
She's my assistant. Always works better that way. So, that's the thing. It's like, and she's telling me, no, I know that I'm that my prices are fair for what I do, my knowledge, got it. But then why is somebody showing up and telling you that it's not, right? Yes. So I get you're telling me how you think, but if you want to know what you believe, it comes up in your world, right?
It really
People
does.
will say it to you and you're like, oh, that's a belief.
Right. Yes, exactly. And it works with the pros and the cons. So one of the things I also really feel about this time that we're having right now, Brenda, and I don't know your thoughts on this, but my thoughts are that stuff that maybe hasn't come up before in the past, that hasn't been working for us as a collective society, is actually being pushed up to be healed. So if it's really uncommon for you to hear some of the things that you might have been hearing in your business, that's okay. It might just be some collective, I call it kerjunkus, that's just kind of coming up. It's like we're stirring the bottle, and all the stuff's coming up. So that's okay. So one of them, a big one, is lack and not having enough. And that's been a global planetary program that we've actually been running as a collective society for literally thousands of years. So
absolutely,
it's hitting some people. But then there's the business layer that's happening, that is what I see a couple things. One is not being fully aligned with what it is that they're offering. There's some little piece of that feels off, and their clients can actually feel that, because they're still kind of in that older energy of doing something. Maybe they haven't fully transitioned into their true authentic self. They're kind of still hiding behind the mask, if you will, whatever that mask was. And so now's the time to strip that off. And then there's another piece of being fully confident, right? And the confidence piece is really huge, because when you are so strong and confident within yourself or your offer, you really don't hear from people that they can't afford it. You don't hear from people that it's too much. You don't, you're hearing the opposite of, oh my God, I cannot wait to get this. You don't have payments fall out and stop because people are so dedicated to the process that they're going to just continue on no matter what, right? And so when we shift that confidence piece, that can really help. So for me, what I've been seeing with the business owners is a confidence piece, and then also not fully aligned with their 100% integrity, or maybe their message.
I was just thinking integrity.
Yeah,
when
it's
you said
integrity.
that, I was like, it's integrity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's really key. And, it's easy to slip out of integrity as a business owner in little ways, right? And little ways, it's easy. And I think there's probably no business owner out there that hasn't done that in some way or another. And I'm not talking about like cheating your customers. I'm just talking about like, oh, I'm gonna fib about this pricing, or I'm gonna, whatever it is. It's just it's easy to slip. So really making sure you're 100% in alignment with what your current energy is, because those people with the planet, they can really feel now more than ever when something's off. Right. People's hearts have really gotten open.
They're going to call some BS. That's the deal.
Will.
And that's the thing, is that it's not our first recession. No. And how long have you been an entrepreneur, Alysa? A
while. Not as long as you. I don't have the 28 years of experience. I've been in corporate for most of my life, and then an entrepreneur since 2012.
Okay. So, but this is the thing that I will tell you, right? Once you've been an entrepreneur, and again, a human being in the world, right? Recessions happen.
Yeah.
We knew one was coming. I mean, if not, you've been living under a rock, right? We just didn't think that it was going to happen with us having to stay home, right? We didn't think it was going to come as a result that we wouldn't be going out in public. I mean, that we would be limited in what we were doing. I mean, yes, this is something that we've never seen before in our lifetimes, right? So, but it's still the same. It's just that during times like this, it's like you step up or you step off, right? Mm-hmm. It's either we look at the stuff that we need to heal, or we don't, and you stay the same. And yes, a lot of people, and I'm going to say a lot of people are doing fine financially. Mm-hmm. What we get to see in social media and in the news is everybody that's suffering. And please understand, I pray for them every day. I'm sorry that they're having to go through that. But if you look through history, types of situations like this are where people become millionaires, because they've realized that they can't live with the illusion that they'll always have a job, that the corporation is going to take care of them, that they're always, it's that type of thing. And it's unfortunate that as human beings, sometimes it takes this kind of stuff for us to be this call to action for us. But again, it doesn't have to be that monumental. but it is possible to make money during this time. We just have to pivot a little bit as to what we're doing, and and then we get to do cool new things like a Theta Healing Power Hour with Alysa Rushton. You know what I'm saying? And that allows us to, because I promise you guys, I'm not going to lie, getting prepared for this stretched me. I'd step out of my comfort level. But what I know personally, one, I have a tool that I can use that supports me in doing that. But two, if I'm not willing to do that, I don't get to upscale and grow. I don't get to help more people. I don't get to show up for myself as well as others. So it's just such an important piece, right? And so when we're looking at, would you like me to start doing some work?
Yeah, let's start doing some work.
Okay. And please, if you can relate to us, let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you've got something financially wise that wants to get a little work on, pop a chat in the comments box and let us know, because we're both going to be working.
And then just tag people if you feel like that they can relate to this, right?
Yeah.
And you don't have to be a business owner to get this work, right? And what I often say to people, because with Theta Healing, like what I say, you can tell me how you think and how you feel, but what you create in your life is what you believe. And we hold that at a cellular level. Mm-hmm. Most of the information out there tells us, oh, I just have to change how I think. Well, again, there are many roads to get where we need to get, but I'm really going to support you in doing the quick, easy one that's permanent, right? If you have to keep that thought in your mind, guess what? That's less room that you have in your mind to be the genius that you are and to create what it is that you want. So with Theta Healing, we change things at a cellular level, which then bypasses your conscious mind, your subconscious mind, and your thoughts and your feelings will just follow. So I kiddingly always say that if you want to be confirmed and validated for what you do for a living, don't become a Theta healer, because it's as if it's always been for people. And that's, unless they're very aware, like, this is so different. And I'm not
sure people understand that. Can you say that again? Does that, because I didn't really understand
that. As if it's always been. So most of the time when we're changing our behavior, we have to think.
Right.
We have to do it. It has to be this big, arduous process. But with Theta Healing, when we change things on a cellular level, you just do it differently.
It's just instant. Yeah.
And you don't
just like one day you're eating McDonald's cheeseburgers and fries, and next day you're actually super feeling like you want a healthy salad, and you're not thinking about it. You see, it's a switch, but you're not like, oh God, I want the cheeseburger so bad. I need it. No, you're not thinking that. You're like, oh God, I really crave a salad today. Right. Let's go have a salad.
Right. And you're like, that's different. Right. Yeah. And you may not even put it together like that.
Yeah. You might even not know it's different. You might just be like, I'm really craving salads. Can't wait to get one.
What I find with most people is that it's the people who are around them that are like, why you're different.
Yeah.
Right. Being different. And you won't notice it because you're just doing it. Right. Like you didn't have to think about it. It's just happening. Yeah. It's lovely. It's not hard. It's not. Yeah. So that's really the beautiful thing about it. And whenever I work with a new client or student, I always make sure that they have 3 beliefs in place.
Yeah. Okay. It's beliefs time, guys. You ready? It's time to tune in. Let's get at it. Yeah. Okay. Mark this point down on your calendar right here. It's 30 minutes in. Okay. Go, Brenda.
I want an instant healing. I deserve an instant healing, and an instant healing is possible. Now, you may think it, and that's cool. And this is the thing. If this is the first time for you to ever hear me talk about this, what do you got to lose? Just say yes, right? And that's what we say. In order to receive this work, you have to say yes out loud. Now, as I say, you don't have to shout it on the top of the mountains. You don't have to say it a million times. You just simply have to, and I always say, like, because a lot of times I bet people who are like at they're watching like during their lunch hour, at work. So that's not happening right now, but I'm just like, just say yes. You don't have to be like screaming it. And what that does is that tells whoever you believe to be your higher power. So mine happens to be God. It lets the universe know, and it lets my brain know, who likes to limit me. Like, yes, I want this. And then it's like, oh, okay. And that's what I say. Then there's this conspiracy to make it all happen for us.
Yeah.
And very quickly and easily.
And Brenda, can I add just a scientific note for those of you guys who are not woo-woo at all? I'm a science geek. I love science. You have this thing called your reticular activating system in your mind, and it's your retina. Okay. It's the filter that filters information up to your brain. It's called your RAS system. You can look it up online. It's in a thing, okay? It's an actual system in your brain. So when you say yes to something, it's like when you say, yes, I'm going to go shop for a BMW X5, a white one. All of a sudden, you see white BMW X5s everywhere. You cannot help it because you've said an energetic yes to seeing that. So when you say yes to these three beliefs, it opens you up energetically in your RAS system and also the universal system for you to actually have big shifts really fast. Just like it, one day you didn't see any BMW X5s out on the road, and the next day you start thinking, oh, I might like that as a car. You see them everywhere and you can't not see it. So
Great
that's
analogy.
the system. Yeah.
And it's just who we are. That's another reason why they say, say what you want, say it in a positive way, right? Because the world is listening, right? The universe, God, everybody's listening.
Yeah.
So instant healings means that, you know, what I always say is that theta healing happens very quickly. And if you don't have those three beliefs in place, I want an instant healing, I deserve an instant healing, and instant healing is possible, even though you may think it, if you don't have them in your belief system, it's going to slow this down. And I don't want it to be slow for you if it doesn't have to be, right? So if you would like those, just say yes out loud.
I'm gonna say yes. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Yeah, sorry. Now Brenda's gonna do some work. This is how Brenda does it. She goes in and she does the work silently.
Because the thing that's important to know, right, is that the reason it's called theta healing is because as a practitioner, I go into a theta brainwave. Well, the deal is that once we start to talk, we go into a beta brainwave,
Exactly.
right? So we want that work to be at that theta brainwave level.
And can we just talk about that for a second? Can we talk scientifically about the theta brainwave level?
You know what, guys, I had no idea that Alysa was this scientific, and I'm so glad that she is.
You want me to talk about it, or you want you to talk about it?
Oh, no, I want you to talk about it.
Okay.
Who thought that my little fairy energy over here was actually more scientific than me?
I am a science geek. So guys, just from a scientific perspective, because I actually think this helps your brain incorporate the healing even faster, is that when you were a child, when you were born into this earth, your brain waves, your brain, how it operated was on theta. Theta is a brain wave state. The brainwave state of theta allows for massive amounts of information about the world to come through and be imprinted on your actual genome, okay, so that you don't have to learn it. So this happens very fast. It's why we learn language so fast as a kid. It's why you learn what all these little bitty, itty bitty parts of the universe are, the colors and the letters and all this stuff that would take an adult years and years and years to learn. You can learn it very quickly. It's because you're in a super open theta brainwave state. All parts of your brain are open, right? And so what happens is we get trained out of that. In America, especially, we do not educate the right brain of the right hemisphere of your of this side of your brain is completely cut off. No education for that. So as adults, you move into a beta state, and most adults are in high beta. That's a very limited band of information that you have access to. So we're all walking around in high beta, high stress, high over caffeination, most of us, right? And we're limited in our access to what we can heal. So Brenda's going up, and she can actually teach you to do this for yourself and your families and your clients and everybody too. I highly recommend. You've actually got a certification program coming up soon, Brenda. Do we have dates on the calendar for that?
I do. It's May 29th to the 31st.
Okay, so if you guys want to know about Brenda's certification, DM her, because it's pretty amazing to learn how to do this work yourself, on your clients, on others, because you can do massive amounts of change. And you just saw what Brenda did. What were we working on there, Brenda? We
were changing the beliefs of I want an instant healing, I deserve an instant healing, and an instant healing is possible.
Perfect. So we are helping everybody install that.
This is another thing that I will say about that, right? So like say you get an adjustment, right? If you don't have the belief that you can have an instant healing, guess what? You're going to have to keep going back for the adjustments.
Yeah.
Your body won't be able to hold them. If that's like another example there, and I don't want to put chiropractors that, they could do a lot of other things. I don't want to put them out of biz, right?
Yeah.
But it allows things to happen, right? So
Yes.
Sheila had to like jump down, and now she's like, oh, we're getting started. Wait, here I come. Here I come. Golly. She never jumps down this much, but it's like, oh, y'all were just talking, and that's the thing. And another thing that I want to add, just like piggyback on that date, May 29th through the 31st, is a virtual class.
Yeah.
First time in Theta Healing history, because of the pandemic, they are allowing us, this is a big deal. I can't even stress what a big deal this is. They are allowing us to teach the 3 prerequisite classes virtually. And for the first time ever. Like, we actually signed a contract saying that we'll never, ever, ever, ever do that. And we had to re-sign the contracts. Like, it's a big deal. And that's why I'm just so excited about it, going, oh my God, because I fly all over the US teaching. Mm-hmm. And, I love that. But sometimes people, they want to take a class. Maybe they know a couple of people that can take the class, but they don't have enough to be able to warrant, that I can justify flying out to teach. So now they can just show up and they don't have to worry about it. And they can invite their couple other friends, because I give a pretty good referral fee, just let you know that as well. But yeah, so now they don't, we don't have to worry about where we have to be. We don't have to rent a room. We don't have to, I don't have to get snacks. I don't have to line up treats, that kind of thing.
Although you can get snacks. But Brenda doesn't have to.
Wait a minute, I cannot TA if I don't got no treats. But yeah, so now we're going to move on, right? And of course, if you have any questions about this, if you're wondering about it, please just DM me. Like, Theta Healing. What did I say yes to? What were you saying in that moment? That type of thing. So please, absolutely do that. And again, tag somebody. Now it's getting juicy. I think I know somebody who might want this.
Yeah.
So, and it'll be available on replay, so that'll be good too. And share it once it's, share it now, share it once it's done. Please feel free to, and tag people that you feel like, oh, I might like this, So we're talking about lack, right? Like, people saying that they don't have the money. And a lot of times, like, even when you see people, buying excessive amounts of toilet paper, hand sanitizer, this is what creates. And again, that's what again, there's that mirror, like, oh, I feel like there's lack, and there that is, right? I felt okay about everything. It's made me sad, like, that I can't get Charmin right now. I can't find it anywhere, but I'm okay with that, right? And I haven't like run out or feel like, oh, I've got to like buy like 3 million packages of toilet paper, right? So what that is, as far as a belief, is that there's not enough to go around. But also it is that if I have something, then that takes away from somebody else having something, right? So it's like, okay, so it happens for many reasons, but those are the 2 main ones that I've found. So what I like to do in a setting like this is, because typically when people have this happen to them, it's a result of a trauma. It's happened either in their lifetime, it's happened in an ancestor's lifetime, it's happened that it's a trauma that they brought in when they were born, and it's getting reiterated, so to speak. It's getting reinforced. So I like to go ahead and go to the trauma source of it from the very first time that it happened. And the cool thing is I don't have to know what it is. So we're going to do that for lack, right? So what we want to change is that there's not enough to go around. And we want to change that if I get enough for me, that means that somebody else won't have enough. Okay? So if you would like those, just say yes out loud.
Yes, 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 yes.
And another thing that's so important to be able to draw on what it is that we do want is that we got to forgive ourselves when we're doing it the old way, right? I mean, I always say you come by it honestly. We're just all doing the best that we can. So we have to forgive ourselves. We have to forgive whoever we believe to be our higher power. Mine happens to be God, right? I'm going to forgive God because, you know, like if I'm being a victim, like, oh God, why did you do this to me? And then I have to forgive like anybody like in my environment that has reinforced it for me in my lifetime, right? So because forgiveness is magical. And when you do it with theta healing at that cellular level, because I know people, they're like, oh no, I prayed about it. Oh no, I've gotten over that. And then we'll muscle test them, right? Because when I work with people, we muscle test one-on-one, and they'll be like, oh, I have not forgiven them. I do not have that belief, right? So it's kind of interesting. But what theta healing will do is do it completely. So can we go ahead and forgive everybody that I've mentioned, right? God, myself, or whoever you believe to be your higher power, and anybody else who was involved in that happening to begin with in our lives. Yes?
Yes. Are you guys with me? Say yes.
And I just got this one. I always say that there's no mistake, like who gets called into this, right? Because it's because we share common beliefs. That's why my classes like are so cool, because it's like everybody can relate to it. Like we'll be shifting things because in my groups as well, because we all relate to it. And the one thing that I got is that it's an either or. I can have a relationship with God, or I can have money and abundance.
That's a huge one. Like, Brenda, can we just talk about this for one little second?
Mm-hmm.
There was an article that an acquaintance, I would say, sent me, and it was really about the world's currency shifting and how if that shifted, we were all cutting ourselves off from God forever, forever, forever. And she was so concerned and so worried. And I laughed and I giggled to myself. And I was like, well, you cannot do anything in your human experience to cut yourself off from source forever, forever, forever. Like as a near-death survivor, I actually know that, right? But a lot of people don't. They think you're a near-death survivor too, right? You're not going to do anything.
And you don't have to do that to do theta healing, okay?
Yeah, by the way. And we don't recommend it. Like I don't actually recommend, it's not a recommended strategy. Nope. However, I think to your point, a lot of people do think it's this or that. It's my relationship with the universe, God, the higher power, whatever that is, and then I can't have, right? Or that I can have all these monetary things. And so, Brenda, you go now, because this is
and then that's the thing as well, right? It's like, God doesn't want us to be poor. No. God doesn't want us to struggle. And yet most people got misconstrued a little bit going, oh, I have to struggle here so that I can go to heaven, right?
That's the thing. People think that.
And they don't really think it on purpose. It's just what they, again, beliefs, we just kind of we're like on autopilot, and they're just telling us, we're just doing. And that's, again, another reason why like intelligent human beings are so disgusted with themselves. That's why we have to do forgiveness, because they know better. That can't be true. And yet they're creating it in their lives. And that's why we just have to forgive for that. And we also want to change that our lives have to be an either or. We want to be able to have choice, but because we have multiple choices, not because it can only be black or white, not just because, it can be either or. So we want to go ahead and remove the obligation, because typically when we do things, I want you to have choice. An obligation means you don't have choice. So we want to remove the obligation that our lives have to be either or. Okay, because our business is included in our lives, just FYI, right? Just a side note here. But we also want to change that. We that we can either have a relationship with God or we can have money in abundance, right? That falls under it, but it gets a little bit more specific. So can we change those?
Yes. You guys with me?
Just say yes out loud. I kind of almost want just to have like a coffee chat with Alysa weekly. I'm telling you, this is like so much fun.
You do have a
right?
coffee chat with Alysa weekly. What are you
I
talking
do, but
about?
not everybody gets to participate in it.
Oh, I see, like a live. I would water chat, but we'll do a live.
Right, exactly.
It's like, wait a minute, we do that.
I know. But not everybody gets to benefit from it. Like they do, but they don't.
Can you imagine?
Like this.
It would be fun. Yeah.
But anyway, so anyways, I was just thinking that. But also too, I just want to say, like, I'm so excited to see all the people who are watching this.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited the people who are tagging people to have people come in. But what I really want you to know is that if you've missed any part of this, guess what? You get to watch the replay and just say yes out loud, and you will still get the work. It still works, right? Yeah. And that's why people watch my videos all the time, because they still will get the work. So I don't want you to think, yes, I want you to join me while I'm doing these weekly, but I do not want you, to feel like, oh my God, I've missed it. And if I watch the replay, I won't get the work. Yeah, you will. Yes.
And I want to say something too, because now this is my belief, and Brenda, you can totally just say, Alyssa, that I don't believe that. But one thing that I think is really powerful that you guys know is that you're actually working on yourself. Like, yes, Brenda's facilitating it, but you're the one who's like actually doing it. You're the one who's accepting it. You're the one who's doing that. And that's one of the reasons why I love Brenda's work so much, is because she teaches you to be certified in this work, because ultimately, we're coming into a time when we are our best healers. We are, the person who can get the best directed guidance. Sometimes it is helpful to have an outside person. That's why Brenda has an outside person. That's why I have an outside person. That's why we all have an outside person. Right. When we really can't, I have a trusted advisor, right? When we can't see it. However, it's so cool to be able, because you and I both do this work on ourselves, right? Can I just tell on you for a second?
Okay.
You don't know what I'm going to say. You guys,
I know what she's going to say.
It's amazing. You do, because you're psychic. It's adorable. Like, we'll be doing something and, something will come up for you and you'll be like, all right, I'm going to work on that. Just give me a second. And so Brenda is her own best healer. Like, I'm not working on her, right? I'm not the one who has to do that.
Because I need for her to work on me in the ways that I need help with, which is not changing my mindset or my beliefs, right? But it's beautiful when you can have somebody who can do that, right? But it's like one less thing. And I'll be really honest. I have to tell you, every coach, every consultant, every strategist who I've ever worked with has always said, you've been one of my favorite clients because you course correct and you change. And most of them didn't even know what Theta Healing was, but you're just so easy to work with and you just do it. And it's not like I do this so that I'll be that person, although that's nice, but I'm getting more for my money because we don't have to worry about the other stuff that's going to slow me down. We get to get to the meat of things.
Right. And that's what's really cool about you guys, when you know how to do this really for yourself, because, this is life and so much does come up on a daily basis. I mean, I consider myself sort of a master at this work, and stuff comes up for me all the time. Am I having to work? There's this idea that the more spiritual you are, or the more mastery level that you are, the less work you have to do, and the more magic and miracles and rainbows and unicorns and stuff it is. Listen, I love rainbows. I love magic. I love unicorns. I have it daily in my life. However, I actually have to do way more work now as a super conscious being than when I did when I was half asleep and dead on drugs, right? I'm having to attend to little things that I see popping up, right? You know what I'm talking about, Brenda? It's like, oh, I'm seeing that. Okay, great. Let me attend to that real quick. Okay, great. Now let me attend to this. Does that make sense? Where before I was just completely
started. It's like the attention is not just like this.
Yeah.
It's like, I got to sit down for a minute. I got to think about this,
Yeah.
But then as you sharpen your skills.
Yeah.
Right. It's like when she's saying that, it's just like 1 second.
Yeah.
You know, like that shifts. Right. Yeah. And, you know, but from my experiences, I do not work on myself as much as I did when I first started, but I do the little things like what Alyssa's talking about that I don't think about it, right? Because it just took like 1 second, whereas I had to like, you know, I didn't have to journal about it, talk to somebody about it, you know.
Spend 5 days in the muck.
And what's really cool when you do this technique and you work with clients, they're my mirrors. So when I first started doing this, I'd be like, oh, thank you. I needed to work on that as well. And I got to just say me too.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you. So people actually paid me to work on myself as well. And it was cool. You know, like win-win. Yay.
Right, right.
So what else? What's our other thing that we're going to cover here?
I thought we would do.
I have it written down here.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah. I took some. So that we want to be in alignment, right? And that we have the confidence. So there's 2 things, but we can whip those out.
We'll whip them out.
So we want to change the reason that we were misaligned to begin with. And it may just be showing up now.
And can I say something about the alignment?
Yes.
There's a really critical piece where alignment means no money. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's like if I'm aligned 100%, that means no money. If I'm doing really what my purpose is, I've heard it from so many people. It's like, if I'm really doing my purpose, there's no money in that, right? Or if, they don't know that it can be actually, you can have both, right?
Absolutely.
So that it's that same thing that you were talking about before, just showing up yet again in a different way, right? It's that same belief of this or that. It's that they're not aligned for a reason. And it's because they think that once they do, it's going to be less money. Instead, they'll realize what's really true is that it's way more and it's cooler and funner and faster.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And people are benefiting from it. Mm-hmm. So it's, you know, that's what gets to be cool about it. So like I said, we just want to change what caused that misalignment to begin with, right? So maybe we have an obligation to be misaligned. Again, we have to work harder. We have to change things. We have to keep doing things. We don't want to do that. Again, we want to be able to put the energy into what we want to do, right? And that's what that will allow us to do. And we also want to change that our alignment is dependent on other people's alignment, right? Because when you stand in your truth, when you put that stake in the ground and you know who you are and what you're doing and who you're serving and how this is working, you know, you can't, you can't, it doesn't shift for you. It doesn't change. You don't waver from it.
No. Or like I've heard, I can't do this because my husband, blah, 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 or my twin soul flame isn't on board, blah, whatever. You know, it doesn't matter. When you are aligned, everything around you will align with you and shift with you. When you are holding that, that's what happens. You know,
I kiddingly say, you know, I've been self-employed for, 28 years. And to my family, that's unemployed, right? Because you're only employed if you work for somebody else. So, but I've had great success in my self-employment, right?
Yeah, you've had a 7-figure business.
So it's like, I don't have to, that, like I'm saying, that alignment doesn't have to follow that alignment, right? So we want to be able to have that choice to be able to do that. So can we change those?
Yes, please.
Just say yes out loud.
Yes, yes, yes.
And maybe, maybe you're feeling like I had one client who, didn't really have any awareness in integrative healing, and which is fine. That's not a requirement. Okay. But she was like, I feel like champagne, like bubbles. I feel like bubbles, or I feel lighter, right? I feel, some burden's been taken off my shoulders kind of thing, right? Because this is the kind of stuff that weighs us down, right? And so the last one that we had talked about was confidence, right? And let's see here. Okay. So we want to look at that deal about, one, we just need to get that divine definition. I have a feeling that sometimes people mistake confidence for arrogance. And then that's where well, I don't want people to think I'm arrogant, and having that confidence. But I also want to change what prevents us from being in our knowing. Because when you're in your knowing, that contributes to having confidence. And we just need to change confidence, right? So, what prevents us from having confidence, right? We can just do all of that and just go to that original event and get to the root of it and let it be. Anything else that you feel like needs to happen with that, Alysa?
I like to go, I'm with you on this one. I'm a big fan of going to the root event for people on this one, because usually I feel like confidence is usually something that comes in this lifetime. It's usually not a brought over program. It can be, but I've found really rarely. So go to whatever comes up. It'll come up for you right away. You'll know it right away in an instant. You'll go, oh, that's my trigger event. I actually have a confidence piece that's not around anything about public speaking, or because I was brought up as a confident public speaker. I was raised basically on stage, but I have a like a body confidence piece, right, that I had to work on at some point. So your confidence might not be about something in your business. That might be about your physical fitness, or your ability to run fast, or your, ability to swim in the ocean. It doesn't really matter what that is. Mine's the ocean, by the way.
That's why she threw it in.
Yeah, just let it be healed. So whatever it is for you, but I like to go back to that trigger event and the confidence piece. But really quickly, the confidence in business. There's something there about, like you said, about the arrogance, but it's almost as if it's like this really old program that's not from this lifetime in business, about like overselling. Does that make sense? It's an oversellment piece. So if that's you guys right now, and if you feel like confidence equals me overselling something, or being a shady salesperson, or anything associated with the sales aspects of your business, I think that I'd love to include that too, because I suspect
let's
that's what's going
also,
on.
so I feel like what will cover that,
yeah,
to change, right, what has separated us from our integrity.
Brilliant.
And forgive ourselves for being out of integrity. For the time,
it goes back to that integrity and authenticity piece always, right?
Absolutely.
Brilliant.
And then let's also change what prevents us from being consistent with integrity. Okay. And
Brilliant.
the other things, and I feel like, like all of that all together, tied up with a bow, we're going to cover that confidence.
Yeah. Love it.
So if you'd like that, just say yes out loud.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Good work, everybody.
Yes, absolutely. So Alysa, what do you want people to know? What do you want to share with them? What do you want to tell them about what's happening in your business and in your life that you have any interest on?
Well, first I just want to say thanks everybody for hanging out with us, and for sure pop your comments in. But because this is instant and you got to actually see stuff show up in your life, don't forget. Please remember to come back here and go, oh, hey, by the way, here's what changed for me. Be on the lookout if you can, because sometimes you don't realize anything has changed, but be on the lookout for how your experience is different, and let Brenda and I know. That would be so cool. We love that stuff. We love your success stories.
Absolutely.
My big thing right now is I am doing a quantum miracle summit with some really amazing authors. I think you know that I've got a book coming out next year in 2011.
I do, but not everybody else does.
Not everybody does. And so, but this is a really cool chance for me to be on with some amazing people like Lynn McTaggart. She wrote The Field. She wrote The Power of Eight. She's super scientific. I'm, like you guys know, I'm a science geek. I'm a string theory geek. I'm a quantum physics geek. I love this stuff so much. So I'm on that summit. If you go to my profile page, you can get my link tree. It's in my bio, and just go to my link tree, explore the links. But the top one, the Quantum Miracle Summit's really amazing. And when you sign up for that, you are also getting right now 3 months in my Magic, Miracles, and Manifesting Inner Circle, which is a really cool place where we do, like today I'm doing a cool sound healing, and we do some advanced energy training classes. So where you can learn how to work in the energy. Because that's really, you know, Brenda, at the end of the day, what I feel like this life is all about is really learning how to work with energy on advanced levels. I mean, we've got the whole feeding ourselves thing down. We got the whole transporting ourselves thing down. We've got the whole internet thing down. Now it's really learning how to take the energy and work with the energetics of the world. And so I know you and I are both into that next level stuff. So that's what we teach in the Inner Circle.
And, you know, and the cool thing is that because we're using Zoom, right, you see Alyssa's name right underneath her, and that's how you spell it. So if you wouldn't even want to look for her, like, so, again, some of her people are watching as well, right? So they know Alyssa, right? For those of you who don't, that's how you find her, right?
And for my people who are watching, Brenda is a brilliant master certified theta healer, which means that she can certify you in theta healing. And honestly, amongst all the techniques I've ever seen, I love theta healing. You know, it's one of my absolute favorites because it's so fast, so effective, and it just gets into the core where we store stuff, which is in our cells and in our DNA. And if we don't clear it out there, you've just got to slog through. And I want to give this example, Brenda, because when we, like, let's say you're an alcoholic and you try to cure it with going to AA and that sort of thing. For the rest of your life, you're going to AA meetings and you're saying, I'm an alcoholic and all that stuff, right? When you use theta healing, you really will not even realize that that was ever an issue for you. It's like alcohol is not an issue. It's not, you don't crave it. It's not and you don't identify at all whatsoever with even ever having drink. It's like you look back and go, I can't even believe I used to drink alcohol, and heavens no, would I ever put another drink in my body? Like, that just sounds terrible, right? But it's that kind of relational. When you do the core healing, you're not mopping up the junk all day long because you've actually cleared it out and you don't have to deal with it anymore. And for anybody who knows my story, I don't call myself an alcoholic, but I was certainly terribly addicted to end of life pain management that they gave me when I was at the end of my life, right? And it took a long time to get off of that, but I used theta healing to break it for good. And, you know, in that I stopped smoking, and I was a smoker and a drinker. I was a drug addict. Let's be honest, but I cleared it. And now people look at me and they can't believe, Brenda, they're like, oh my God, really? You used to smoke, you used to drink, you used drugs. It's like, yeah, actually I died of a drug overdose. So, you know, but people can't even see it in my energy field because it's gone. Right.
And I have similar stories. So anyways, go on. Absolutely. So
Vicky says, ladies, this is brilliant. The clients do show up in my healing business. Yay. Heidi says, this has been great. Thank you, ladies. Heidi, you guys, thank you so much for being here. We've loved having you so much. And seriously, guys, go and check Brenda out. She is doing a certification. You're doing several of them because obviously we know that
this is a temporary situation that we're going to be able to teach virtually. Right. So we're hopping on, you know, for those of us, for the ones who don't have issues with Zoom, and I love Zoom. Yeah. That's what Zoom's my jam, right? So that, like, it's not a big deal for me,
but you do have a participant cap. And so you're doing, I think, 4 of these trainings because you can only have 20 participants per. So I think you have 4 scheduled, but I know that you have 4 scheduled because they're going to fill up super fast.
So if you are interested, exactly, message me.
Yeah.
If that date doesn't work for you, message me. It's okay. You know, we can get you on a list and you can tell, you know, it's not a big deal. But I would love to see you at this one. And message me, you know, again, anybody who any questions about Theta Healing, anything, I'll have a little extra something for you that you'll enjoy having for free.
You will.
Message me.
Vicky says, I've been working with Brenda for a year and took her basic Theta Healing class. Amazing. Yes.
Thank you, Vicky.
Brenda is amazing. Vicky, are you doing it your advanced level certification too? Or
We'll be doing advanced as well as dig deeper. Okay. But right now, I mean, was a huge endeavor, right? And Theta Healing is global. So not only had they do it for the English speakers, they had to do it for all the other languages as well. So right now it's basic, and that's your first step anyways.
It is your first step.
Then you're going to be able to do advanced, and you're going to be able to do dig deeper as well. And those will roll out in the perfect time.
Right. Super excited about the basic. I kind of want to, even though I know Theta Healing, I kind of want to join you. Can I? Can I sign up?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm going to do it.
Because I will tell you, you know, I often say, again, I'm not meant to be everybody's instructor, right? I'm not meant to be everybody's practitioner. And the same goes for others as well. But you have to vet people a little bit and see. But I've been doing this for 14 years. This is not my hobby. This has been what I've done for a living for 14 years. And I've taught and I've done sessions. And that's why I have a session, a way to do it, right? I have a very specific what happens in that one session because I know it works. I've been doing this a while. It's not my first rodeo, you know?
Exactly. And I love the way you teach it because honestly, you've been doing it so long that what I think makes you an amazing teacher is that you actually do.
I give you tips and tricks.
Little tricks to make it
that will
click.
shorten your learning curve because I don't want you to have to go through what I went through to figure out how to get where I'm at now. Yeah. I have people that have been taking, you know, classes consistently that blow my mind that it took me 14 years to get here and it's taken them like a year and a half, you know, and you know, I'm doing it and probably less, but they just like kind of showed up. And of course I've worked on myself. So I get to have like the most brilliant people in the world show up to take my classes, like Alysa Rushton. You know, I mean, I get to have that. So one, I want to say thank you, Alysa, so much. I don't know if y'all saw she was spoon feeding me in through this, but I loved it. And the next one is Wednesday, like this coming Wednesday. It'll be at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. So I'll be posting that. You'll be able to see it. And it's going to be a woman named Stephanie McPhail. And her program is around like love shouldn't hurt.
That's a big one for people love.
Yeah. So I'm excited about that.
I'm going to come to that one.
You might watch it just for.
I'm going to come.
Yeah.
I'm going to hang out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we all need healing around that love stuff, right? We all need it. It's 11:11 here right now. I'm in a newer relationship. I just moved in with my man, right? There's stuff that comes up when you are in relationship, your business and like your health. Those are your 3 core areas where your stuff shows up, right? So if you're not,
I have a friend who always says, if you want to know what you still need to work on, get in a relationship. Mm-hmm. And I say, if you want to know what you need to work on, start your own business. Right?
Either way, or have a child. Like one of those 3. That'll do it. You'll see it. You can't not.
So thank you, everybody. So appreciate it.
I love you.
I'll see you on Wednesday. Feel free to join us. And please feel free to share it.
Yeah.
Appreciate y'all so much.
We so appreciate you. And Brenda, I so appreciate you. Thank you for this. This is awesome. I love you. You're incredible.
I love you too. All right.
Bye.